we're going to start. So welcome to the launch of Magnolia On Demand. I didn't want to be on stage all alone, so I wanted to come with this old guy, but he can't make it to the stage. But luckily there's another wise guy who will support me. Please welcome Marc.
To be honest, I'm not Confucius. I'm Marc Korthaus. I'm the founder of SysEleven. And today we are announcing the partnership with Magnolia about the offering for the on-demand solution.
Cool, yeah. And I'm Daniel Lipp. I'm working for Magnolia since 5 years now. I'm leading the initiative to build the on-demand thing together with a small team. And while that's not a surprise, probably, it's about the cloud. So how does Magnolia On Demand look like? It was mentioned in the earlier talks already. It's a software as a service model. We have optimized deployment. It's going to be a managed stack, right? It's kind of the careless package, and going to be built per month. And we heard about partners, hosting partners before. So obviously one of the questions is, do we want to compete, or are we competing with existing deployment models? No, that's not our intention, and that's not what we are doing. We are completing the landscape. We think that there is a missing spot, and that's what we try to fill with this initiative. So if you talk about deployment models, there's different aspects that you can check, and there's the traditional model on-premise. This will stay. This works like a charm. It's the right model for many cases, and it will stay like that. I won't go through the details because we have to catch up. And probably there's more interesting parts of the talk. There's the hosted model. As Pascal said, I mean, we have a lot of partners that offer hosting. That's cool. That's great. We're just gaining more. Some prominent names like Rackspace, IBM. So this is also going to stay. It's for many cases, this is the perfectly right approach. But we want to add a third deployment model, which is then, as already mentioned, software as a service. Basically now, hardware and software is managed by the vendor, whereas in the hosted approach, normally the hardware is basically managed for you, but still you have to do some managing around it. The software, that's what we want to take off from you. So if you think about the USPs or the unique selling points for those three models, I mean, if you have it on-premise and you have it very close to your surrounding systems where you're calling, you have probably the lowest latency. You have the most control. You can choose precisely which version of database you want to run, operating system, Java version. So everything's in all details. You can reuse existing stuff that's working fine in-house, but the setup is the most effort. So it's always a bargain, right? In the hosted approach, the control of the software, you have it, but you need less resources on the IT side. And it's the first model where you can have auto-scaling. I mean, with physical hardware, that's not doable, so that's selling point here. And with the on-demand approach, is just lowering the initial cost. I mean, we heard a lot about easy to engage. This is also something which means easy to engage, right? You have basically installation up and running in no time. I'll show that later. It's best of breed approach. It's pre-configured. So you can really start very fast. You can have monthly licensing. So for short running websites, I'll give some examples later. Setup here is obviously very fast. Auto-scaling is still around. So at an abstraction level from left to right, when on the one side you get less maintenance and effort, on the other side you have less influence. So this is the choice to make. There's good reasons for all three approaches, but here not today, of course, we're going to talk about the new one, the on-demand, and so we want to explain where it rocks. So when would you use it? Very typical case is campaign sites. Let's say we have some big car brands as customers. So they introduce a new model. For 3 months, they launch a website. They expect huge traffic. After 3 months, the buzz is gone. The website is down. They surely don't want to buy physical hardware. They don't want to have a yearly license for that thing. It's just 3 months. So with this approach, on demand, set up in a few minutes, start with it, build a website, put it live. After 3-4 months, it's gone. We think that's an ideal fit. Proof of concept, similar thing. You probably don't have the time or don't want to invest the time to have a really good setup. You can have it, you can use it, few days, few weeks, whatever. Just do what you want. In some cases, you have good internal IT and you have to support. In other cases, you want to do a project and internal IT is busy or just not existing. So that should not be hindering you. We want to make it easy to engage. Use Magnolia for that as well. And we heard also about agility. I mean, that's all about agility here. It's a quick setup. It's scaling as you need. You can, basically adapt very quickly to your needs that you might not be aware of when you start a project. So this is typical cases here. As I said, we have Marc next to me, so this is SysEleven, that's the partner, we started the initiative with it. So why SysEleven? We had many options, and that's cool. We were looking for a partner who has kind of a similar attitude that we have, similar size. I mean, if a partner is too small, he probably can't cope with the load that we hope to generate with the thing. If he's too large, he probably won't listen, because we're just a little fish in the pool. We're similar in size, we have similar attitudes. They were just launching a new stack for cloud computing, OpenStack, so open source approach as well. Many similarities. That's why we started together the journey, and we're really happy with working together. And let me now hand over to Marc to explain a little bit what SysEleven is about.
Thanks. Okay, my name is Marc Korthaus. Let's talk in one slide about SysEleven and why we are here both at the stage. We are a hosting provider doing application management for like 7 years. So we have 3 data centers. We have our own dark fiber ring. We have multiple POPs in Berlin and Frankfurt. We have massive bandwidth, so it's even DDoS safe, at least for the smaller DDoS attacks. We are running all premium hardware like Juniper, HP, Fusion IO, whatever you need. We got it in our toolbox. And we have like more than 60 engineers ready for you guys and waiting to solve your problems or doing 24/7 for your applications. So we are ISO 27K certified by the German norm, which is called nach IT Grundschutz. But it doesn't count for the international guys, but for the German guys it's very important. So if you have customers looking for the best compliant solution, we are probably a good fit. What we do is, after we provided hardware, we're working on applications. Means whatever your application is in need of, we will be a good fit. We have hardened service level agreements for it. We have the engineers in the middle of the night jumping out of bed for your applications. That's what we do, and that's our main business. So what we learned internally is, as soon as we grow beyond 50 people, we learned that each one of our guys has ideas about how to be better as an IT professional and how to work in teams. So we read a little bit about the Agile Manifesto and stuff like this. So we implemented a lot of these Agile methods into our company, and that's why we think we are a good fit in terms of agility. You guys are, and your customers are demanding. So I guess let's check out what we think is the right way to provide services. So we have some key principles we work with, and the first principle is if you have to check a virtual machine, you probably have your logging broken because you should be notified by it. That's the easy stuff. But if you do anything manual on it, like logging in via SSH, it's probably you aren't lazy enough, because you even can make a ticket out of it. So it should be fully automated, whatever you do inside of a VM. That's what we learned the hard way. And if you're, let's talk about deployment. If you have to copy files to your application servers, I guess your deployment is completely broken because it should be automated and it's so easy to automate it. So if you don't know how and why, and talk to us. So because we have a lot of customers doing exact this and we help them a lot doing it. And it brought us to a new concept of how we should work with virtual machines. And but before that, let's be honest, only a lazy admin is a good guy, because if he works too much on the SSH stuff, it doesn't work in the long run. So the concept we learned about is all of it should be automated. But that's if I talk about automation, you all say, okay, I heard it quite a couple of times. So what really is it about? And it's a mind shift. As you heard of Internet of Things and stuff like this, nearly each of the deployments you can make should be automated. Which brings you to the point that you have to differentiate your virtual machines between cats and cattle. And let me explain it to you. Cats means you give your virtual machines a name, normally a name scheme, like from Futurama or Bud Spencer names or whatever, but your virtual machines probably have names. So, and they need care. You have to upgrade, you have to update your instances, you have to update all the stuff which is inside of your virtual machines, you have to update your applications, whatever. It's a continuous approach of doing work inside of your virtual machines. These machines are, as soon as you updated them, they are getting unique. As soon as I update something, I know I did this, but I haven't done it on the other one, and I don't know. They get unique, and I have to do a backup of them. Every day, twice a day, a couple of days, I will recover them, because I don't know what state they are in. So, I only can restore them from backup. But to be honest, it's not the right approach. But normally, I really know it's worth doing it, because I don't know how to recover from them from a fresh start. I don't know how's about your personal computers, but to have them started from a fresh installation of your computer operating system, that's hard work. It's nearly a day of work, and inside of the data center, it's even more work. So you need backup, and you want to have it with cats. But what about cattle? Okay. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a kettle, to be honest. But what we've learned is that as soon as your deployment is ready, and the attitude about managing machines is no longer about cats, it's about cattle. They do get numbers instead of names. And I don't know if you could remember all these names, but normally you have an inventory management for this kind of machines. And you just don't care about them, because you don't do backups on it. And if it gets messed up somehow because someone broke into your application, you probably just kill it and deploy a new one. That's the truth. And they're very similar to each other, because if they are not, you probably have a big problem inside of your data center. So, what you do is you deploy only by deploying with changes you do into your repository, into your software repository. And the rest of it, you just drop it and deploy a new virtual machine on the new release. You just test it while it's not productive and it doesn't have this kind of workload. You just test it with the new release of your OS, with the new release of your applications, and whatever is necessary to test it, you will do it beside of your normal projects. Afterwards, you just deploy and reroute your load balancer, and it's done. You probably have to migrate data if your database will be migrated too, but that's it. So, what does it lead to? For us, it was about how we deploy virtual machines. I talked a lot about how you handle your applications on your virtual machines, but what does it mean on our side, on the data center side? And that's the interesting approach where it both comes together. And what we've learned is we need to go with an infrastructure as a service solution. So that's for sure, but what did we do? We implanted a team of nearly 10 employees within SysEleven, and for 1.5 years, they just had a look on what the market has to offer. And we've learned that there is nearly no solution for us which is able to work with tenants. So we are a provider, we need tenants. You don't want to see the networks of the other guys around in our network. So we need tenants, we really need good storage, because databases normally need this kind of storage. And we need some other stuff. So we decided to go with OpenStack, which is the standard for infrastructure as a service. But what we've learned is it's a mess internally. So we had to work a lot around issues within OpenStack, and since they have a 6 months deployment from one release to each other to the next one, we've learned there's a lot to improve. So we have a release since January this year, and that's what we actually do. So we've contributed to OpenStack for like a year, and because it's quite important to release all patches upstream, because next release you don't want to recover your patches and stuff like this. So what we also did is we started the alpha. You can use it today. We will see a demo, but tomorrow we have guys here working with you if you are interested and having a look into it. So you can use it for free at least until the end of the year. So if you are interested in infrastructure as a service, come to our guys at the booth and let's have a talk. So what we've included to get the infrastructure as a service running with your applications, in this terms with Magnolia, we had to do proper bootstrapping. So we would deploy all managed services like alerting and trending and stuff like this, because it doesn't work out if you only have a VM running. And the service level agreements are a complete different story, and we have this ready too. So what we've running is on OpenStack. You can use it just as an API-based infrastructure as a service. You can build your own platform as a service stuff on it. So if you are interested in this too, it's not the topic of this presentation, but maybe it's interesting too. And what we've shown here is how you can get forward with a solution like Magnolia, which we really love, for like a couple of years, and building your own SaaS platform, software as a service platform. But the most important thing is, after you've deployed it, you probably need guys and girls. We do have 2 of them in our office with working with computers. So you need engineers powering your application. So I guess that's it for me, because you will have your presentation right now for it. Let's have a look on how it works in the right direction.
Thank you, Marc. Just as a side note, I have a cat at home. Now I'm thinking about getting a kettle, but have to convince my family first. So I guessed the laptop will be far away. That's why the demo will be a recorded demo. So I know this font is too small, but that's not a problem. I don't want you to follow all the details. I think that was too fast, right? Okay, no, I'll just say it in words. I highlighted it. So, as you said, the technology is OpenStack. OpenStack has various components. One of it is heat. Heat is the one that we are using to manage our machines. This is was just a command to show the list. So this is pre-configured instances. That's the one that you can use if you subscribe for the beta. And what I want to show is just like how, so this is a kind of a sample call. You could see it, yeah? Okay. We are short in time, I will just go over it. It's basically the one-line command where we call a template. That's where it's defined what we want to have in the machine. It's running. The recording is actually real-time, so it takes about a minute that we have a new instance up and running. Tomcat is there, database, everything we configured. one author in public, they are starting up. So as you might know, that will take another little while. Here's the command and the proof that the keynote stack, it's actually there. Now what I just need is the IP address of this new instance. And despite the fact that I should not do ISSH into it, just to show that it's up and running, but this is very important. I mean, you should not do that. That's we are doing right now because we are in beta phase. We don't have all the monitoring and logging in place yet. That's next steps. For now, we're gonna check it manually. If you have been quick enough, you saw the IP has a 42 at the end. I think that's a sign from Douglas Adams. That's cool. Makes me feel very confident. So this is just showing that Magnolia is starting up, and also this is recorded. That's about in real time. So right now for the beta to create one instance, it's less than 5 minutes, and they're all identical. They are kettle already. So we have Apache configured. So with the IP, I get already public URL, so I can log in. And this is the instance. So okay, the video is not showing here, so I have to. Okay, here. So we basically have built two apps. I mean, Magnolia as a platform. So these apps will help you to manage your installation. Obviously, with the 5.3, this is based on 5.3, you can't really do much without extending the system. So you want to upload your own jars where you put in your stuff. So this is just a demonstration for the app that does exactly this. So this one file is a dummy thing, the other one is a Forge module, just to prove you later that it's actually working. Now, this is changes in class path with Java. This requires a restart. That's what I'm doing right now. This is, of course, not something you're going to do 10 times a day, but this is just for today. If you want to add a connector, let's say, to some third-party system or some other in-house system, that's what you have to do today, together with 5.4. Once 5.4 is proved in production and we're going to move to it, you will have tons of options, especially when developing a website, to customize your system without restarting, obviously. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so this is restart triggered. Should be done in a second. Come on. This is real time. There's no shortcut. Can I already explain the reason why I uploaded the second jar file? You saw it's just has a different size. It's just to show you later. The second app is a monitoring app. It gives you some basic ideas about what's going on in your system. Again, this is software as a solution, so you're working within Magnolia. You won't go to console and check something. I mean, this is too complicated for the customer. So now we log in again. Jar manager, just that I have one app open. I quickly open the second one. And then you see this app switcher, Forge module I installed, allows you to switch between apps. Okay, it's there. Wasn't there before, so installation was successful. This is a sample what we monitor right now. This is JVM statistics on the top and disk statistics on the bottom. So like that, you can already have a look and see on your system whether you're running short in resources or not. Again, that doesn't mean that we won't introduce monitoring, that we know upfront that you have a problem, but you also want to see a little bit what's going on. And we'll extend this app, of course, on other apps so that you get all the information you need about the system, that you are confident that it's running as it should. And I mean, I will skip over that. This is just proving that activation, everything works out of the box. I mean, that's not ideally, that's not a surprise. And, well, probably the most important question for you is, when will it be ready? I mean, Pascal already announced, beta will start today. What is beta? Right now we have one package, we call it the evaluation package, one author, one public, pre-configured. It's basically EE Pro with a trial license. You can register for it, try it out. We can't guarantee an SLA, not because it's not stable at all, it's simply because we don't have the manpower yet, and we have to set this up. But as you heard, there's enough manpower in the back, so if we don't solve your problem, we know who we're going to call. In our case, we are working on setting all these things up, also together with our support, that we can guarantee that if there is a problem, that you're going to have a solution in no time. And when you're trying or playing with the beta, we are very open for feedback. you're very welcome to tell us what you think about it. I mean, what we did right now is we talked to a few people and implemented what the most basic things, what we think is an absolute must. And now the interesting part comes, so what is important for you. So really, every beta tester, please let us know what you think. So how can you get you? Can you get on demand? If you have a conference app installed, if not, you should probably. You can get a link directly there, or this is the link to it. You'll be directed to a website. Tell us a little bit what you're planning to do with this trial instance. We don't have unlimited, but quite a few of them. So hopefully we can provide instance for everybody so he can try it out and let us know what he thinks about it. What are the next steps? I said we are in beta. So we are already in progress of defining more packages. So of course with eval is one setup, but you might have a small company website, or another one has a super large installation with tons of integrations. This is different needs, so we're gonna offer packages for each of those needs. I already quickly mentioned we will work on the apps to enhance. We will provide that information that you need. We will have SLAs, we'll guarantee uptime, and work hard that we can actually keep them, of course. And one of the requirements, obviously, then is system-wide backups. I mean, if you're working with Magnolia, you know the web app is the one thing, but repository, they have to be in sync. It's not as easy if you install something. Again, talking about 5.3, it might have changed the configuration. There we see a lot of improvement again with 5.4, but this is future. For today, we're working on backups. I mean, the platform has hot snapshots built in and everything. So we're thinking about ways like every time you're uploading a jar or you're restarting the server, you take a hot snapshot before. If there's a problem, you can always roll back. Things like that. We just want to make sure the system is not down, because at the end it will bite our ass. We are offering the uptime, right? So a little bit more about the packages. Yeah, it's for different needs. And we will make sure that if you have a certain project in mind, that it's really easy to decide for a package. We don't want to offer 30 packages with all kind of options and stuff, then it's just too hard to select, right? I have that use case in mind, maybe 2 could be an option, and then it should be easy to go for one. But also, if you decided for the smaller one, probably, it should always be very easy to just upgrade to the next biggest package, because you realize maybe you got more traffic than you hoped for. So yeah, again, all these details will follow, and let me get back to the old guys that introduced the whole show. So how is Confucius, I think that's the English pronunciation, wired to on-demand? I was already talking about on-demand when we had no idea, and I think this is a really nice saying, because yeah, you tell us what you need, we try to implement it, and this will be a long journey. We can improve a lot, there's room for improvements everywhere. We'll work hard on it and hope you like it and you make use of it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marc.